What's up guys, Let's Leprechaun here with the first stream and what is going to be the first video here on the channel. So here we're going to be reviewing the cards that have been spoiled so far for the upcoming Hearthstone expansion, Witchwood. And so I'll just be rating all the cards on a scale of 1 to 5 stars, with 5 being meta-defining and a lot of meta decks, and 1 star being we'll see no play whatsoever in the near future. So first up, we got Hagatha the Witch, which is an 8 mana Shaman hero card. With Battle Cry, deal 3 damage to all minions and 5 armor gained when you play her, like all the other hero cards. Gonna give her 4 stars. I don't know if she'll be meta-defining simply because she's a Shaman card. However, dealing 3 damage to all minions is pretty good. Could give you like a board clear. It's like Hellfire, except only to the enemies. And I think she's comparable to Deathstalker Rexar because she's dealing damage to the enemy minion. She costs obviously 2 more, but Deathstalker only does 2 damage to all minions. And also her hero power of whenever you play a minion, you add a random Shaman spell to your hand, sort of like Deathstalker Rexar. However, Rexar you can control it more. Yeah, you get less cards. Hagatha is more RNG, but you can get a lot of cards per turn based on the amount of minions that you are running. And I think perhaps it's not the best to get random spells, but in control matchups that can really win you the game. And in aggro matchups, you've probably already won by the time you would be playing Hagatha. Also, I think she's better than Thrall. She's the best hero card out for Shaman right now, so I think she'll see a little more play, especially if Shaman gets some more support cards. Speaking of Shaman cards, next up we've got Witch's Apprentice. It's a 1 mana 0/1 beast with Taunt and Battlecry. Add a random Shaman spell to your hand. I'm gonna give this one 2 stars. So obviously Babbling Book is a similar card. Just has 1 more attack and doesn't have Taunt. However, Babbling Book is a mage card. Mage has a lot better spells than Shaman, which is why Babbling Book is more of a 3 or 4 star card. However, Witch's Apprentice, I mean, Taunt is good because you can just soak 1 hit, even if it's just 1 damage from an enemy minion in an aggro matchup that's big, and perhaps you'll get a good spell from it. I don't think it'll be meta-defining, though, and even if Shaman becomes a thing, I think this will be more of a fringe deck type of card. Next up, we've got Nightmare Amalgam. It's a 3 mana 3/4 epic and is neutral, and it is all tribal types. However, it has no abilities. Gonna give this one 2 stars as well. I think the fact it has no abilities is not great. The stats aren't bad for 3 mana. But I think the only time this will see play is a lot of free-to-play players will be playing this as sort of a fill if they're missing that tribal legendary. Like if you're missing that Ysera in a dragon deck, you'll be playing this one instead just to get an extra tribal or an extra dragon in hand for abilities such as Dustbreaker, maybe even in wild for something like Operative as he's rotating out. So it's not awful, but it's not great and doesn't do a lot for you. Next up, we have Glinda Crowskin. Is a 6 mana 3/7 Warlock legendary. Minions in your hand have Echo. I think this card is also 2 stars for now, but it could go up to 3 or even down to 1. It's a little bit shaky. I think the problem with Glinda is that at 6 mana, if she dies the next turn, it's going to be hard to generate the value you want out of only 4 mana remaining. However, if she sticks, you could get some kind of crazy combo off and just win the game the next turn. So I think she is a little understated, which she doesn't have a lot going for her there, and I think the mana cost really is an obstacle for her coming into decks. However, if some sort of crazy combo arises, she'll have a long time in Standard, so potentially in the future she'll become even better. We'll see. Witchwood Apple is a 2 mana Druid spell. Add 3 2/2 Trions to your hand. Gonna give this one 1 star. I think this really, I don't know why you'd want 3 Trions in your hand. I think it's just 2 mana wasted. In Druid, you're drawing a lot of cards anyway, so there's no real reason to add dud cards to your hand. I just don't see this one ever being useful. Next up here, we've got Rotten Apple Bomb, which is a 5 mana 4/5 neutral with Taunt and Death Rattle. Restore 4 health to your hero. Gonna give this one 2 stars. I don't see it seeing a lot of play, and I am pretty generous. I give it a lot of 2 stars because I hope to see it, but I don't know. This one could be closer to a 1 star. The reason I'm giving it 2 is because you see Senja Shieldmaster is a 4 mana 3/5, which you see sort of as a base stats for a Taunt minion. Bog Creeper is a 7 mana 6/8. This one is a little understated. However, restoring 4 health to your hero isn't bad. It's not great either, though. This could really be closer to a 1 star card. Just maybe for some people who are looking for that last card in their deck, this will see a little play until they get better cards. Next up, we have Houndmaster Shaw, which is a 4 mana 3/6. And I'll give this one 5 stars, actually. I think it won't see play in Face Hunter, and it won't see play in Spell Hunter, obviously. But I think mid-range Hunter will really benefit from having a card like this. This will really allow you to make favorable trades. He has pretty good stats, too. And as I heard Regis Kilbin, he's a great streamer, you can check him out. He was talking about how this is actually very good in a Death Rattle Hunter. So pretend you've got Savannah Highmane now, 6/5. So you play that probably the turn after you play Shaw. You play him on 5, play a 1, and then the next turn you play Highmane on your 6 mana turn. So you trade into something big with Highmane, get the kill, Then you get two 2/2s with high mana, as you always would with the Death Rattle. And then those also have Rush, so you could even trade with those. I think it provides a lot of value. It could be very interesting, and I think Mid-Range Hunter will be seeing some more play as we move into the next meta. I think it's been overlooked a lot, and it's been pretty successful in every meta. Not amazing, not top tier, but it's been sort of middle of the road, and with a card like Shaw, could really move up there. Next up, we have Vivid Nightmare. 3-mana Priest Epic Spell. Choose a friendly minion. Summon a copy of it with 1 health remaining. I'm going to give this one 3 stars. I think with some cards for Big Priest rotating out, this could slip into that deck with maybe a 1 of, maybe even a 2 of. And with cards like the Lich King and Ysera and Obsidian Satchel, you get a lot of extra value for just your 3 mana. With Lich King and Ysera, you're getting decent bodies, and you're getting an extra card at the end of your turn, which is very good. The Death Knight and Dream cards are pretty good. And with Obsidian Satchel, you're getting 4 extra life, and you get to destroy an enemy minion. However, the reason it's not getting more stars than that is because it could be inconsistent depending on the minion you want to copy. Oh, I forgot to mention, with the Ashar, it's very good, but, oh well, he rotates out anyway, so I didn't mention him, sorry about that. And so, I think Molten Reflection is a better example of, like, an upgrade to this card, because for Mage, it's 4 mana, and you get a full copy of the minion, so that's why this one isn't getting a huge, heavy star rating, because it's not amazing, but it could see some play in a combo sort of Priest or Big Priest. Rebuke is a 2-mana Paladin spell. Enemy spells cost 5 more next turn. I'll give this one 4 stars. So if you guys remember, Lotheb is a 5-mana 5/5 legendary with this exact same ability upon Battlecry. And I think this will be... The reason it's not 5 stars, I think it's a great card. The reason it's not 5 stars is because I don't see this ever being a 2 of in a Paladin deck. Just because Paladin, as we know it right now, outside of OTK, Paladin with hero power from the Death Knight, you're going to really be seeing Aggro Paladin or Dude Paladin, which wants to win the game very quickly. And so this is not a card that allows you to win quickly because it doesn't have any effect on your board state. It doesn't add a minion or attack to your board. However, it does protect you from your enemy board clearing you, which is pretty big. And so I think it'll be a 1 of because you will want to draw this so you don't get hellfired or anything like that. However, it's definitely not going to be a 2 of, and that's why it's a 4-star but not a 5-star card. Whispering Woods is a 4-mana Druid spell. Summon a 1/1 Wisp for each card in your hand. And I will give this one a hopeful 2 stars, but it probably will be closer to 1 star. The problem I see with this card is in sort of Big Druid or Control Druid, you're going to have a lot of cards in hand, which is great for this card, but you're not going to want to flood your board with 1/1s. And in sort of a Tempo or Aggro Druid, it's great to get those out. You have those you have the buffs for the board, like Evolving Spores or Power of the Wild, where you can really buff these guys up. Mark of the Lotus is rotating out, but still. However, you're not going to have a ton of cards in hand in those kind of decks. So I think this one sort of falls between archetypes, and I think that's going to kind of cause it to fall between the cracks and not really be a useful card. However, with this card and also the Witchwood Apple, potentially Blizzard's hinting at a hand druid, and maybe it'll get some support for this deck, but I don't see that really coming. And so I think this could be closer to a 1-star card. But I'll give it 2 stars because it's interesting enough that it sort of makes me think about it. Face Collector is a 3-mana 2/2 rogue legendary with Echo and Battlecry. Add a random legendary minion to your hand. I'm going to give this one 4 stars. And so I think just pretend you're playing this on turn 9. You're getting 6/6 worth of stats, and you're getting 3 legendary minions in your hand, which is pretty big late game. As you're playing a deck like Kingsbane Rogue, where I think this will be seeing the most play, just because you've got those weapon buffs rotating out, and so something's got to fill those spots in the deck. And so I think this card could be a good filler for that. It'll protect you in the late game from your enemy's last assault, and then you can really just concentrate on going face or something like that with Kingsbane once you've got more minions on the board, which is something that Kingsbane decks typically will struggle with. But this really gives it a boost, and I think even outside of Kingsbane deck, maybe in like a Valyria control deck, it really could see some play. Warpath is a 2-mana warrior spell with Echo and deal 1 damage to all minions. Gonna give this one 5 stars. I think it's just very versatile, and at any point in the game you can clear your opponent's board, and it's good for Warrior to get even more cheap board clears. You've got Brawl already, and you've got, what is it, kind of Reckless Flurry, but you don't really want to be sacrificing all your armor at all times, so this is a good alternative to that, and I think it could be a 2 of in any Control Warrior deck. Glittermoth is a 5-mana 4/4 Priest Epic with Battlecry. If your deck has only odd cost cards, double the health of your other minions. Gonna give this one 1 star. I think doubling the health of your other minions at such a disparity between the stats and the mana cost at a 4/4 for 5, I think that's not good enough. And also, I just think that the odd and even decks are not going to work out this expansion. Maybe in the future if they add more support, but for now, it's just not going to work out. Merkspark Eel is a 2-mana 2/3 Battlecry. If your deck has only even cost cards, deal 2 damage. And I will give this one 1 star. Again, 2 mana 2/3 is fine stats. It's not terrible, but shouldn't see a lot of play. If the even cost cards decks saw play, this would be amazing because you think about Phoenix is a 4 mana 3/3 battle cry, deal 2 damage, and this is at the cost of only 1 attack. It costs 2 less and would have the same effect, but the decks just won't see enough play for that to work out. Just yet, maybe in the future, but not now. Gloomstag is a 5 mana 2/6 with taunt battle cry. If your deck is only odd cost cards, gain +2/+2. It is for Druid. I think I forgot to mention Mercspark Eel is for Mage, but anyway, Gloomstag again 1 cost card. 4/8, if you got the 2/2, is decent value, but I don't think it's enough value to justify playing that in your deck, and it's definitely not going to see play just yet. Black Cat is a 3 mana 3/3 with spell damage +1, and it is a beast. Battle Cry, if your deck has only odd cost cards, draw a card. Oh, Glittermoth and Mercspark Eel are also beasts, forgot to mention that, but I don't think that'll matter. Anyways, Black Cat is a 2-star card for me. I think the spell damage +1 at that body is pretty decent, and it would be a 3 or 4-star card if you actually got to draw that card, but I don't think you will. I think it's going to be a 2-star card for now, but who knows. Gen Greymane is a 6 mana 6/5. Start of game. If your deck has only even cost cards, your starting hero power costs 1. Again, 1-star, same thing as all the other guys. It's just those decks are not going to see enough play, and he also doesn't even have that good stats for 6 mana card. Pumpkin Peasant is a 3 mana 2/4 with lifesteal. Each turn this is in your hand, swap its attack and health. This is going to be a 1-star card as well. It's inconsistent that you might not get, if you need the 2/4, you could have the 4/2 in hand, and vice versa. Also, I mean, 2/4 or 4/2 with lifesteal, neither of those are terrible stats with an ability, but I don't think that's going to see play over a lot of other cards. It doesn't have a ton of synergy with any deck, and I don't think that's going to be great. Phantom Militia is a 3 mana 2/4 with Echo and Taunt, and I'm going to give this one 3 stars. I think it's versatile, and you can play it at any point in the game. It doesn't have a ton of synergy with anything, which is why it doesn't get higher than that, but really you can play it early game as just a 1 of. Mid game is a 2 of, or even late game is a 3 of. Getting that 6/12 of stats off the top of your deck isn't the worst thing ever to draw, especially if you're running a fast deck and you end up getting sort of moored in the late game and you need some way to get out. This could be a good way to get out of your situation and get that last bit of damage through. Militia Commander is a 4 mana 2/5 warrior card with Rush and Battle Cry. Gain +3 attack this turn. Gonna give this one 4 stars. I think this is a very good card. Getting that 5/5 body on the first turn is very good for trading into things, especially if warriors not getting their board clears and is falling behind. It's also just a decent body to put on board. The reason it's not going to be 5 stars is just the fact that it's a 2/5 after the first turn, probably even less than that if it attacked into a minion. It'll probably be something like a 2/2 or 2/3 with the health that it lost. But it's very good on that first turn, getting that burst damage, and then also just surviving for the next turn. Next up, we have Baku the Moon Eater. It's a 9 mana 7/8 neutral legendary, and start of the game, if your deck has only odd cost cards, upgrade your hero power. It is a beast. I think this is also a 1-cost card. It's very understated, even later in game than getting Greymane, and same thing, just those odd even decks are probably not going to work out. And last up for now is Azalina Soul Thief. She is a 7 mana 3/3 neutral legendary with Battle Cry. Replace your hand with a copy of your opponent's. Gonna give this one 1 star as well. I think that potentially she could be good, but only in one certain situation, which is if you've got no cards in hand and your opponent's got a lot. However, there's a few problems with this. First off, if you're getting your opponent's card, they probably don't have synergy with your deck. Maybe drawing a lot of cards is great, but they're random cards and could not work out with your deck at all. The second problem I have with this is pretend you're playing this in a control deck, right? You probably are going to have a lot of cards in hand, so this is not going to be useful. And if you're and third, finally, if you've got an aggro deck or a tempo deck, you're not going to be playing this card in the deck because you don't want a 7 mana 3/3 that's horrible for your tempo and that just kills off your turn, even if it draws you cards. I mean, you see cards like Divine Favor, which can draw you just a ton of cards for only 3, and that's really it's just a ton better than this card. So I don't think they'll see any play. So just to go over the notable cards very quickly, I think Militia Commander will see play. Phantom Militia could see some play in Fringe decks. Black Cat could see a little play in Mage decks. Warpath will see play in a lot of Warrior decks. Face Collector could see a decent amount of play in Rogue decks. Rebuke will certainly, in my opinion, will be a 1 of in pretty much every Paladin deck. Vivid Nightmare should see some play in some Fringe Priest decks and maybe even Big Priest. Houndmaster Shaw should see play in every single mid-range Hunter deck. Glinda Kroskin may be in a Fringe Warlock combo deck, but I don't really see that happening. And then Hagatha the Witch, I think, will be played in pretty much every single Shaman deck. And that's all for now. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and will enjoy the video if you see it, and I'll see you guys next time.